Patreon banned Lauren Southern and Carl Benjamin. They banned Lauren Southern, and there was this huge hubbub like, dude, you took away someone's income, like outright without a warning. And then Patreon was like, okay, we'll never do that again. And then they literally did it again, causing this like mass exodus. Sam Harris at the time was like, I am getting off of this, Jordan Peterson. There are still tons of people using Patreon who are like on the right or anti-woke or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? We have people on the show, and I think, we're talking about G Prime 85. Doesn't he have a Patreon?
Maybe so. And that's the thing, too. The avenues are getting...
Maybe not. Maybe I'm...
to me, that's another solution, though, too, is to create a new Bandcamp. I mean, it's a pretty simple
No, he was
service.
banned from Patreon in December.
Was he really? Oh, gosh.
Well, so that's probably the last time he was on the show. Yeah, see, this is exactly it. So on December 8th, 2022, George Alexopoulos, for those that aren't familiar, he's this amazing artist. He's one of the best. You really got to check out his comics. It's brilliant. He posted on Twitter that he lost his Patreon account on the same day. His is under review, but we know what's going to happen. It was coordinated. My attitude is just like, look, bro, I'm a big fan. We love you, George. But at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm about to start busting out laughing. Like, are you kidding me, dude? It was years ago. It was like 4 years ago that Patreon banned Lauren Southern. Let me give everybody the context who's not familiar. Lauren Southern had a Patreon account. She was getting, I think, like $5,000 a month or something. She gets on a boat. She's in the Mediterranean. She's waving a flare in the air at one of these ships that's smuggling humans, trafficking humans across from Libya. So there's like an active slave trade. They're bringing people up into Libya, putting them on boats, shipping them to Europe. And so what happened was the narrative that came out was she tried to obstruct a refugee rescue vessel. It's like, like these vessels have been accused of very serious criminal activity. They're trafficking people, smuggling from port to port. And but I digress. She never got in front of them. She was on a little boat doing a little protest. Patreon instantly deletes her account. Her income is gone. Everybody freaks out, not because they agree with Lauren Southern, but because they're like, are you going to erase my income overnight with no warning? With no, like, dude, if that's my job, my money's all gone. Right. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I can't get that back. There's no reapplying for the audience you've built up.
Yeah.
So the CEO comes out and he's like, we understand why you're mad. You're right. We should have given her a warning and a chance to migrate off the platform. We should have said, if you do this again, we'll ban you. It was a very serious thing. And like, I remember him being like, she was trying to block refugees, man. And it's like, no, she wasn't. You're lying, dude. Stop paying attention to the lies in the media. Yeah. But I digress. Fine. Send her a letter and say, you have 72 hours to inform your fans you will no longer be using this platform and do something else. Well, Lauren made her own website. And then she ended up getting people to sign up there. And so then he's like, I'll never do this again. Later that year, I think it was like, or it might have been a year later, Carl Benjamin of the Lotus Eaters podcast, Sargon of Akkad, for those that know him on YouTube, someone found a live stream he did a year prior with like 2,000 views where he insulted people he was calling alt-right. I don't really know what their ideology was, but he called them white N-word or something like that. And he was like, the way you describe black people is exactly how you act. And because he did that semantic game, they said, he used a slur, banned. Without warning, without notice, they banned his profile. Yeah. Shutting down all of his income. That led to this mass exodus. That was years ago. That was like 2018, I think, 2019 maybe. I think it was 2018. Yeah. And so this you still have people on the right, libertarians, disaffected liberals, using Patreon.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight, George. George Alexopoulos was using Patreon up to 3 months ago. And we deserve to lose. We deserve to lose. Okay.
Well, we have to build alternatives to this.
But there's a ton of alternatives. There's locals.
To Patreon? Well, yeah, I guess there's locals. Yeah.
And locals was bought by Rumble. I mean, you easily just use that. There has been Subscribestar for a long time. I don't know. People don't really use Subscribestar anymore, but it does exist. And you can always make your own website. Yeah. It is very, very easy to set up a Stripe account and use a WordPress plugin. Maybe to the average person, it's more challenging, but you simply find a dev. Like you could easily tweet out, like, anybody know how to do, like WordPress dev? And so what we did, we found a guy for a couple grand. He built our first website. with a plugin thing for members, and then we instantly had all our members on our own website.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, I didn't have Patreon for a long time, and I probably lost out on a ton of money because we didn't do anything until we launched our own website. But ultimately, my point with all of this is like, if people know these woke corporations are doing this and they keep using these services, sorry, bro, I have no sympathy when you get banned. In fact, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Like because we deserve to lose if that's the case.
Yeah, Owen Benjamin went that route too. You know, he was canceled through a lot of different avenues and made his own platform, and he's thriving. And I think that that's the thing too with all of this.
He's a kind of a goofy guy though. I mean, he's been accused of saying a bunch of weird stuff.
You know, like
he called me goofy looking. It was funny.
Oh, did he? Well, the point
he
is
insulting me for being mixed race, but I thought it was funny. I don't care.
Okay. Well, the point is he moved into his own platform. He created his own community on his own platform where he's in control. And I think that's the idea here. Because, you know, I'm not surprised, you know, because there are these different avenues, right? I'm on YouTube still, right? And every time I put up a video, my latest video is age restricted and demonetized. Okay, it's a video about Bill Gates, and it's a cartoon essentially. Okay.
He got mad.
Yeah, and so you know it reached 100,000 views in a short amount of time. YouTube takes notice. Let's see how we can make this less seen. Let's demonetize it and age restrict it. So every comment I get now is I have to, you know, you have to watch, click through 2 warnings or something like that. But I'm not surprised by that. That's the thing. My income is not based off of YouTube's monetization. But there are people that put themselves in that situation where, you know, it continues to go through, you know, these platforms where you can't be surprised when they flag you. I'm sure you're not surprised when YouTube flags you at this point, right? It's
like demonetization.
Yeah, demonetization.
We actually don't.
Whatever it is.
We rarely get demonetized these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you getting better at watching what you say? Are you playing within their rules?
We play within the rules, but the rules don't matter. Like they will give someone. There are tons of people like Crowder. He was citing the CDC, and they gave him a strike for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, when you circle back around, like conversation is one thing, and how you want to interpret the conversation, but it's infecting art now, right? If I put up a music video and you put up a music video, what they're doing now is interpreting art for the world to actually see. I make a video. Gates Behind the Bars. It's a cartoon, or even my video, Sad Little Man, is flagged for medical misinformation. It's within their rules.
That was about Fauci, though, right?
That was about Fauci, right? The point is they attacked it because it's about Fauci, and not because of medical misinformation. They've interpreted the art for the person that, you know, they don't want to see it.
Yeah, but so look at the Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. The story as it goes is that those were, you know, allegories and metaphors for the existing political and religious structure, but it had to be done in a strange metaphorical way to convey the ideas. Otherwise, you get killed. You know, people get mad at you. It's just that way. It's I think the issue is I think humans tend to be zombified. There's a lot of people who are zombies and a lot of people who aren't. And the people who aren't zombies are constantly trying to find ways to navigate through the zombie hordes. So with like, you know, was it Lewis Carroll? I don't know, whoever wrote Alice in Wonderland. He's trying to convey these ideas that are, that, you know, go against the established order. So he writes this book. I may be wrong about that. That's just what I heard, that Alice in Wonderland was written as metaphor so that he wouldn't be, you know, persecuted or whatever. But because you have zombie hordes. And I think there have been zombie hordes throughout history. And one of the things that's changed is that the people who are critical thinkers now have access to the internet and can directly form communities and share ideas with each other, bypassing the mob that wants to burn everything down. You know?
Yeah. And there's a reoccurring situation there. You know, when we talk about Bandcamp not responding to us, that coincides with your communication with YouTube. They won't, you know, you're talking to bots when you talk to their support team.
Or people in India.
Yeah, and then you've got the 5 Times August page was removed from Wikipedia.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, so shortly after Sad Little Man came out, it was up there for like years.
Wow, you pissed off Fauci bad.
Yeah, I guess he got mad. But you're sitting there arguing with moderators about what's true and what's real about yourself. And what they'd rather do is just remove you altogether and not acknowledge it. That's the reoccurring theme that I've found.
When I search 5 Times August Wikipedia, Chris Hawkes is what comes up.
Yeah, it's funny that guy played guitar on an album 15 years ago for 5 Times August. So his page still gets to stay up. But the actual artist page is now removed. I mean, I had some back and forth with Wikipedia.
Wait, so you've worked with this guy?
Yeah, many moons ago, 2005.
But why does it?
And he's got a career of his own, I think.
But does it reference 5 Times August in
his Wikipedia? I believe it does. Yeah. So that's the only place you would find a reference to 5 Times August. I used to have a whole page with a discography and everything. But I crossed the line.
I don't think you're on here, man.
I know I'm not on Wikipedia.
No. I'm saying in this guy's article.
Oh, okay. No, I might be in like the discography or something of that, like that, because somebody was telling me that.